Have you heard of the Church of Satan? It looks like a movie story, doesn't it? But what if I told you that this organization really exists, with thousands of followers around the world? Yes, a religion that adopts Satan not as the villain, but as a symbol of freedom, independence, and even self-affirmation. An idea that directly challenges everything you have ever heard about evil, sin, and religious conventions. In 1966, Anton Lavey founded the Church of Satan, and in doing so, did not create a devil worship as many imagine. He was not seeking to worship a demonic figure, but to free people from imposed morality, religious guilt, and blind submission to doctrines he believed were destructive. The question that arises is, why would anyone choose Satan as a symbol of liberation? What does this religion really represent with the foundations of traditional beliefs? Stay with me, as let's dive into a story of rebellion, philosophy, and mysterious personal power. Get ready to see the Illuminati in a completely different way and understand that behind the name Church of Satan, there is much more than simply a dark figure. Now, before continuing to tell me, which city are you watching this video from? I want to know how far this message is coming. So, it already leaves a comment below and takes the opportunity to strengthen this community of people who seek the truth. And don't forget, if this content made you reflect, leave the like, because it helps this video reach more people who need to hear it. And of course, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so as not to lose the next videos. There is a lot of important things coming. Anton Lavey was the man who in 1966 shocked the world with the creation of the Church of Satan. But who was he really? An ordinary man born in 1930 who decided that the only way to challenge religious and social norms was to reverse everything that taught us about evil. Lavey was not a devil worshipper as many imagine. He did not believe in a supernatural being with horns and tail, but used the figure of Satan as a symbol of revolt, rationality, and individual freedom. With a critical look at Christianity and other traditional religions, Lavey founded the Church of Satan as a way of releasing individuals from the strings of morality imposed and encouraging them to think for themselves. Throughout his life, he has become a controversial figure, but also a great philosopher for those who are tired of living under dogmatic rules. But what really led Lavey to choose Satan as a central symbol of this revolution? What did he want to achieve with it? Let's explore the minds of this enigmatic man whose ideas and writings still reverberate to this day. When you think of Satanism, what comes to your mind? The devil, sinister rituals, sacrifices. What if I told you that Laveyano Satanism is not that? Instead of worshipping a demonic entity, Anton Lavey's Laveyan Satanism proposes a radically different philosophy. The acceptance of human nature and the pursuit of pleasure and self-sufficiency without the ties of religious morality. Lavey's Satanism is a philosophy of life where self-indulgence is not seen as a sin, but as part of the self-improvement process. It is based on 9 principles that question the traditional norms of society, such as the guilt imposed by religion and the denial of human instincts. For Lavey, Satan was not personified evil, but the symbol of questioning, rebellion against religious tyranny, and freedom to be who you really are. In following these principles, adherents did not seek a god of evil, but a path of personal empowerment, where the only sin would be to deny himself. Are you ready to learn more about how these ideas challenge everything you knew about morality and religion? Satan, the name behind many of the darkest stories of humanity. For many, he represents the absolute evil, the antonym of all that is good and just. But what if I told you that in Laveyano Satanism, Satan is not the villain you imagine? For Anton Lavey, Satan is not an evil entity with horns and tail, but a powerful symbol of rebellion, freedom, and self-affirmation. He used Satan as an icon, to challenge religious traditions that imposed rigid rules and values. Instead of seeing him as a supernatural being, Lavey treated him as the antithesis of Christianity and religions that condemn human instincts. Satan then becomes a reflection of human nature, with his desires, passions, and search for freedom. Instead of combating the figure of Satan, Laveyano Satanism celebrates it as the force that frees the individual from the bonds of guilt, fear, and repression. But how can this reversal of values be so powerful to your followers? Let's explore as the figure of Satan, in its new form, becomes a guide for those who seek to live without limitations. Now imagine a ceremony where you are not submissive, but the protagonist of your own life. In Laveyano Satanism, rituals are not made to invoke demons or Satan as a real entity. Instead, they serve as a tool of self-empty and self-indulgence. In carefully prepared environments with symbols and theatricality, rituals are designed to free and extol human feelings and desires without the guilt imposed by religious morality. The initiation ritual, for example, is not a simple act of belonging, but a symbolic moment of transformation, where the initiate becomes aware of his own power and potential. It is not a matter of submitting a majeure force, but of taking control of your life and desires. Throughout his philosophy, Lavey emphasized that the theatrical ritual is a form of catharsis, a way to externalize repressed emotions and restore confidence and inner strength. These rituals, therefore, are not about evil, but about emotional liberation and personal affirmation. But why do so many associate these ceremonies with something dangerous and evil? Let's understand the psychology behind these powerful rituals. Imagine a book that does not speak of love and forgiveness, but really naked and raw. Anton Lavey's Book of Satan is considered the Bible of Laveyano Satanism, but do not expect to find traditional prayers or prayers in it. Instead, the book challenges all conventions about morality, sin, and virtue, replacing these concepts with a profoundly realistic view of human nature. Lavey questions religious dogmas, especially the idea of sin, proposing a more relative and adaptable morality to the individual's needs. In his work, he defends the right of every human being to seek his own desires and pleasure without the guilt imposed by religion. The Book of Satan also describes the 9 satanic principles which guide their followers to live honestly, to rebel against oppression, and to seek self-indulgence in an ethical way. For many, this book represents a cry of freedom, not destruction. But why do so many people see these ideas as dangerous? Let's investigate how Lavey's philosophy was misinterpreted by those who are afraid of the unknown and self-sufficiency. What do you imagine when you hear about a new world order? Many conspiracy theorists say that secret groups, such as the Illuminati and Satanic Illuminati, are manipulating the world behind the scenes. And somehow, Laveyano Satanists end up being associated with this narrative. But is there any truth behind it? Anton Lavey never founded a secret organization in order to dominate the world, but a religion based on personal autonomy and liberation of the individual. However, like any movement that opposes the traditional system, Lavey followers were seen as a threat. The idea of a new world order, controlled by a secret elite, was associated with Laveyano Satanism, just because many of its principles reject the control structures that the state and dominant religions impose. But in fact, the true order that Laveyans seek is not global, but internal. It is the order of the individual who lives according to their own principles. The belief that Laveyano Satanists want to control the world is, in fact, a dangerous distortion of a philosophy that, in essence, seeks personal liberation. Let's understand why this association was made and what it means to the public image of the Church of Satan. popular culture, with its intriguing stories about secret societies and global conspiracies, has a unique way to create myths. The name Illuminati is often used to describe any secret organization that would allegedly control global events, including Laveyano Satanism. The association between these ideas has become even stronger with movies, books, and even conspiracy theories disseminated by social networks. An example of this is like films such as Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons present secret organizations as dark and evil forces connected with Satanism and the control of the great spheres of power. However, Laveyano Satanism is not even close to this fantasy. Anton LaVey did not seek world power, but self-determination and self-sufficiency for each individual. The truth is that the Illuminati and Laveyano Satanism, although often portrayed as interconnected, have very different origins and goals. The true conspiracy that LaVey defended was the liberation of the individual of the clutches of religious, morality, and political authoritarianism. In the end, LaVey's representation and philosophy in cultural works only reinforces a distorted view of the true message of Laveyano Satanism. Let's see how entertainment shapes our perceptions of a movement that actually questions these same representations. Anton LaVey's greatest provocation to Western society was his open criticism of Christianity, and by extension, to other religions he saw as repressive and controlling. But contrary to popular belief, Laveyano Satanism is not simply aimed at attacking religions. He proposes a reflection on how religion imposed a worldview where guilt, fear, and sacrifice are considered virtues. LaVey saw Christian morality as a form of slavery that devalued the life and natural desires of the human being. Satanism, therefore, opposes the idea that pleasure, selfishness, or individual desires are sinful. Satan here is not the evil being, but a metaphor of freedom that challenges religious dogmas that, according to LaVey, treat humans as inferior, subordinate to a morality of punishment and penance. He did not defend a struggle against God, but against oppressive morality that, according to him, institutional religions impose on humanity. This ideological confrontation between Laveyano Satanism and Christianity has generated many misunderstandings. But in fact, Satanism does not propose destruction, but reconciliation with human nature, without the need for divine mediators or dogmas. Throughout this video, we explore the depths of Laveyano Satanism and demystify many myths involving this philosophy. You probably expected to find a dark cult, a worship of evil, or macabre rituals. But what we really find was a religion of personal freedom, where Satan is not seen as a demonic figure, but as a symbol of rebellion and self-affirmation. Anton LaVey, with his Church of Satan, did not seek to create a movement of destruction, but a philosophy that challenged religious and social norms, promoting self-sufficiency, freedom of thought, and independence. Unlike popular image, Laveyano Satanism does not propose destruction, but reconciliation with our human nature. For LaVey, traditional morality, with its emphasis on sin and guilt, was just a prison for the freedom of the human being. Instead of submitting to divine authority, he proposes that people live according to their own rules, without the need for intermediaries or dogmas. So what does Laveyano Satanism teach us? True freedom comes from within, the liberation of the bonds imposed by society and religion. And perhaps, when we look more closely, we can understand that this search for freedom is a deeply human journey that we can all explore in search of our true self. Now that you know the true philosophy behind the Church of Satan and Laveyano Satanism, I invite you to reflect on your own beliefs and how social and religious structures shape our vision of what is right and wrong. Is true freedom just to break free from external rules? Leave your opinion in the comments. Share this video with people who also seek to understand more about topics like this. And of course, subscribe to the channel to continue the journey of knowledge. The way to true freedom begins with the understanding and the courage to question what we were taught. If this video has touched your heart, be sure to let your like down here. This helps spread this message to more people who also need to hear the voice of God in their lives. Share this video with friends and family so that everyone can learn to walk closer to their Father and listen to their direction clearly. And of course, comment below what has impacted you the most or what you intend to change on your spiritual journey. I want to hear your experiences. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity now to subscribe and activate notifications. Thus you will stay on top of all the transformative content we are preparing to help you grow spiritually. Remember, your mission as elected is unique, and together we can reach more people with the truth of God. If you have felt touched by this video and believe in the mission we are fulfilling here, helping to spread the true message of Christ, we want to invite you to join us even more significantly. If you want to support our work and help us continue producing content that strengthens faith and guides people on the path of truth, consider making a donation through Super Thanks. Your contribution will be fundamental so that we can expand our reach and continue bringing messages of hope, discernment, and spiritual transformation. Each donation, however small, makes a big difference in our mission. Click on the Super Thanks icon below this video and contribute what you can. We thank you immensely for your support, and may God bless you abundantly for your generous heart. Together we can impact even more lives and bring the true word of God to every corner. May God bless you abundantly, and until the next video, stay firm in faith and keep listening to the voice of God.